Hey everybody, it's Dave coming back to you from the garden again. I am out here doing a couple things, but I wanted to show you something that I do. This year I planted three kinds of corn, three varieties of corn. They're all open pollinated, well, non-hybrid, non-GMO. And I've got three kinds, and I wanted to see what grows best in my area. I've gotten Bloody Butcher, another one called Oaxacan Green, which is a corn from Mexico, South America, or South America, excuse me. And the last one is called Johnson County White. And I'm basically just getting an idea of what grows well. And they're all planted in small plots. I'll show you them in a second. And I just want to show you how I go around real quick and hand fertilize these the corn as the tassels come out and then the silks come out. So I'm going to turn you around here. What we're going to show you is this very first one. This is Johnson County White. I bought these seeds from Seed Savers Exchange, and you can see they're planted. It's a raised bed here that I filled with basically a mixture of mulch and horse manure, and got some beans growing up this trellis here on the side, and then literally right on the other side of the trellis is the Oaxacan green corn. Now that is an early variety, and I planted it earlier, and for the most part they did a pretty good job of these two corns of tasseling and silking at different times. I do, however, expect that I'll see some cross-pollination because they certainly have been out together. However, what I do is, real quick corn anatomy. So the tassels, which are on the top here, this is the male part of the seed, the male part of basically the sperm. And then let me show you one. Let me find one. Here we go. And then the silks here are the female, and they are the female part of the plant. So obviously they're not together, not like a bean plant. You know, I can show you a bean flower, and they're all right there together, and they're easy to fertilize one another. These aren't quite so easy. The from the tassel here, it has to fall straight down onto the silks. That's why we plant them in such a close area. And I'm trying to step back here just a little bit so you can see. I've got them packed in here. I keep them watered well, so that's fine. But that way it increases the chances that when the wind blows, as it's doing right now, or something happens, that we can hopefully get those seeds from the tassels to fall and hit the corn silks. Now, what I'm going to do here, I saw something here a minute ago, and you're going to like go right into the middle of this corn with me here for a second. Here we go. So here is, see it right there? So that is a silk just coming out. That's a silk that is just formed, and it's got a little bit of brown showing. When they first come out, they're almost pure white there, like we can see right here. See this part right here? That's what they look like when they first come out. And when you see that, you know that they're unfertilized. And I'll tell you how in a second. So what I do is I come up here, same variety of corn. Oops, pulled the whole thing off. Didn't mean to do that, but it's starting to dry out. So now I've got a nice long tassel here that has the male part of the seed on it. And what we're going to do is, here you go, you can see it, hopefully see it a little better. Yeah, Mr. Samsung is acting like he doesn't want to focus here good. But there you go. So that's just covered in the male part of the seed. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pull these apart, and we're going to get right in there, and we're just going to run that all over the top of that. See that? And what happens is now we're making sure that the fertilization happens. Oh, here's another one. Perfect. Okay. You'll be able to see this one really well. So here's the brand new tassel. See how white looking, how white and almost like a greenish, like a pale green, but but they're very clean looking, the tassels, when they first emerge. I'll show you some older ones in a second. We're going to take that and we're just going to run that all over it. And what happens is each one of these silks is attached on the cob, the immature cob, to where a kernel of corn will come up. And once the silks are fertilized by the tassel, then it will start forming the cob. Here's another one that has been out for a few days. Now what'll happen is these silks actually draw a fair amount of moisture, and they also a fair amount of energy. So once they get fertilized, the plant recognizes it doesn't need those silks anymore. And see how some of the silks on this one that I was just doing, see, they're starting to look a little brown. They're starting to look a little gross. Here's another one. Now that one, it's real dry. It almost feels like a dry sponge. And what happens is, as they become fertilized, the silks will dry up and eventually just shrivel up. Now you can see that one that I was just showing you that has the brown silks, we've got a nice ear of corn forming here. So what you can do is, if you go through, just probably when I water the garden, a couple times a week I do this. I mean, I'm not out here every day, but anywhere where I see those nice whitish green silks that haven't started to turn brown, I'll just grab one of these little tassels. Generally I pull a smaller one off than what I broke off here, and I will just run it all over it. Here's another one. See? So I hit this one probably about 2 or 3 days ago, and it's already, you can see how brown it is. It's had a few tassels still remaining there, a few silks rather still remaining there, but you can see that the ear is already starting to grow, is very plump. I'm going to show you real quick another ear. So this is the Oaxacan green, and we can see that look how big that kernel, that corn is, and the silks, I mean, they're just completely dried up. The corn is actually busting out of the husks. It's that's so well formed, and that's what we're looking for. Obviously, we want more corn, right? So you don't want to be planting all this stuff and then not get any corn. And corn is notoriously fickle sometimes about germination. So I'm going to take another one. This is the size I usually get. So this is about this size. And we're just going to go all over that. And we're going to cover it up. And then I do that, like I said, when I water the garden. I'm going to walk around here with you because I want to show you one other thing that maybe we'll talk about in a future video. Reaching up here, I'm gonna pull one more. Boy, that one's just full of, and if I look in here, do you see, hopefully you can see that right in there. It's nice and yellow still looking, and doesn't look like all those silks have been fertilized. And so we're gonna, it's always so bright out here in the middle of the day. I gotta get up earlier or something in the morning because I have such a hard time seeing the screen. But sometimes I don't have a choice about when I get to do things. I think that's the whole point. Now look at this one. Here's a stalk forming right here. It's very small. You can see for comparison, it's, you know, not much longer than my hand. It's got little tiny silks there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit them. Now most likely what will happen with this, because you see how small they are, I hope you can, that what's gonna happen here, there we go, now they're in view, is that this is gonna put forth more silks. So in a day or two, it'll have more, it'll be like this one, it'll be kind of mixed, where it'll have some of the unfertilized and the fertilized silks, the brown ones, all mixed together. And we'll just go over it again at that time. So the only thing, that was pretty much all I had. You can do this as often as you like or as little as you like. You know, it's up to you. It's your corn. This is a nice size ear forming up here though. This is another one that I hit a short time ago. And then here's another one as well. Nice one. But I want to show you one other thing. I'm going to step right around here, I think. And maybe we'll do a future video on this. This is called, it happens a lot with older heirloom type variety corns. But that is called, excuse me, corn smut, and it's got a South American name also. I'm gonna butcher it. Huitlacoche, I think. I'll check. I'll put the spelling in the description of the video. But it's a fungus that grows when you see how the corn, you see how the husks here did not cover the ear of corn. Well, what happens is water gets down in there and it can form a excuse me, it can form a fungus can form that grows on the corn. Each of these large gray looking pieces that you see are basically a kernel of corn that has the fungus, been affected by the fungus. That is very edible. It is apparently a delicacy also in Mexico. And I'm going to turn you around here real quick, if you don't mind. If I can find there we go. That's a delicacy in Mexico. So it's been, you fry it up. I've been told if you let it go too long, it can get bitter. I have another ear. There's kind of corn over my shoulder here, if you can see it. That's Bloody Butcher. I got another cob out there with it. So I'm going to mix those up and try it out. It's basically fried and you eat it. And I'll do a video on that once that happens. But it's probably going to be another week or two at least before that happens. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you this quick video. Sorry, I was looking up, there was a bee flying around. Wanted to share with you this quick video about how I hand fertilize my corn, how I hand pollinate, and I hope it helps you if you have corn, if you're having issues. And as always, stay safe, stay prepared, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.